9 times out of 10, the weight will start coming down. 9 times out of 10, your calorie deficit will start working then. Maybe blaming it on the hormones, or maybe blaming it on the cortisol levels, that's one. Or maybe just saying that this calorie counting, this calorie deficit thing doesn't work for them. That's it, video done. I could end the video right there. That is the actual reason. All right guys, welcome back to another episode of Quickfire Fitness. And in this episode, we're gonna be talking about why your calorie deficit isn't working, okay? If you don't know me already, my name is Will. I've been a personal trainer for around 5 years now, and I've been helping guys in the city center or living the city lifestyle get into amazing shape, whether that's dropping body fat, building muscle, or working it around their lifestyles. So in the video, we're gonna be talking about why your calorie deficit is not working, right? And I will be honest with you here. The reason why it's not working is because you are not in a calorie deficit. Right? That's it. Video done. I could end the video right there. That is the actual reason. But we're going to talk about it in a little bit more detail, of course. So what we'll find is there's a whole camp of people, right? And they will try to diet, and they will track the calories. They know what a calorie deficit is. They know that they need a calorie deficit to lose body fat. But what happens is, they will kind of try and track their calories for a bit. They'll try and follow their calorie deficit for a bit, but then it doesn't work. It doesn't work for them, and they're not losing body fat. And then they'll go and lean towards maybe blaming it on the hormones, or maybe blaming it on the cortisol levels. That's one. Or maybe just saying that this calorie counting, this calorie deficit thing doesn't work for them. Right? And I have a bad habit of saying right, but I'll continue. Anyway. What actually happens though is these people are they're either making a mistake with their calorie tracking, or two, they're just not giving it long enough. They're just giving it a long enough period of time. Likelihood is it's the first one. They are making a mistake somewhere along the line that is stopping them from being in a calorie deficit. And that's what I want to talk through today, okay? And I want to show you how exactly I would navigate this with a client. If one of my clients was in his calorie deficit, thought he was doing things right, but he just wasn't losing any weight, then this is how we will navigate this, and this is how I would track this to help them out. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to cover all of our bases and make sure that you are logging and you are tracking everything. So I'm talking everything, right? If you are having a glass of orange juice in the morning with your breakfast, are we logging that? Liquid calories. How many coffees are you having in the day with milk in them, with sugar in them, with a sweetener in them? Let's make sure we're logging and we're tracking these things too, okay? Are we having any fizzy drinks? Full fat Cokes. Log them, track them, if it's got calories, if it's a full sugar Coke. I say full fat, but it's a full sugar Coke. Next thing is, are we looking at your cooking now and the foods that you're eating, okay? So are we tracking your vegetables? That's one to start with. Are we tracking cooking oil? Do you cook with any oil or butter? Are we logging that? Lots of calories in that. Are we tracking and are we logging any sauces and condiments that you're putting into your mouth, that you're adding into your meals? Ketchup with your dinner, barbecue sauce, a little bit of mayo on the side. Are we logging and we tracking that? I don't know. And another thing is any little nibbles. Are you just grabbing a couple of crisps from the side? Are you just grabbing one little bit of chocolate off the side? Are you having taking a sweet out of the bag that your friends give you? All of these things need to be tracked, okay? Because most of the time what happens is there's a lot of things that are not going tracked, and you're actually underreporting the amount of food you're eating. You're actually eating more food than you think, and you're not actually in a calorie deficit anymore, okay? That's one thing, right? Now, first things first, we would make sure we're doing all of that. We're tracking everything and we're laser focused with our tracking, right? Then, alongside that, we'd make sure they're consistent with their cardio, their activity or any step counts that they've got, and they're super consistent. The first thing is we find consistency, and we want at least 2 weeks of consistency, right? At least 2 weeks of not missing a beat, right? Then, 9 times out of 10, the weight will start coming down. 9 times out of 10, your calorie deficit will start working then. But if it doesn't, here's what we'll do next. Now we're looking at the process and we're thinking, right, you've been tracking your calories and you've been consistent tracking your calories. Why are you pulling in front of me? You've been tracking your cardio, you've been tracking your activity consistently, and you have been consistent. You've not missed a beat for 2 weeks now, and your body weight's still not coming down. What's going on? Well, now we look at, okay, are your calories a little bit too high? You know, have we just misjudged your calories? That happens sometimes, you know? And if your calories are just a little bit too high, then all we need to do is just make that change. That's the next thing we'll look at with the data. We'll make that change, we'll drop them calories, and what will happen then is we'll do the same thing again. We'll track for another couple of weeks and we'll see if the body weight is shifting then. Again, the other 10% of the time, the other 90% of the time, this will solve the problem and this will get your body weight shifting down in the right direction. But firstly, you need consistency and you need to make sure you're tracking everything possible and you're not making any mistakes on that front. And secondly, you need to give it a little bit of time, give it 2 weeks at a time or so, just to give it time to actually work and do its job. Okay, that's what I would do with a client. The odd occasion it's a health problem, the odd occasion it's something that needs to be checked out. 99% of people, this will solve your problem right there. All right, hope this video has helped. If you actually want help from me putting all this into place, then you could always drop me a message on Instagram. My link is in the bio. Drop me a message and I'm more than happy to jump on a call, help you out and see what my program can do to help get you into the best shape of your life too. Hope you've enjoyed the video and I will see you guys hopefully in the next one.